Go.
Go.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Cut. I am your host, Anthony Oquindo. My co-host here, as always, Tom Roth. Say what's up, Tom.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We are excited to have you here today. It's another week.
Another week.
We're trying to keep this momentum going, keep you guys informed, entertained. Whatever we bring to the table, we're here for it. We got a couple different things to get into today. Just quick recap. We're gonna be talking about what was the first thing was on the agenda, Tom?
The bird flu.
I lost my list here. Oh yeah, the bird flu. So we got some new sicknesses coming up.
It's the goddamn bird flu.
The bird flu, just in time, 2024. You know, election season. We're gonna see how this plays out. We're also gonna be talking maybe a little bit about Trans Day of Visibility.
Yep.
Apparently that's a thing. Didn't know that. And
then we're gonna talk about Easter Sunday.
Because that
coincides kind of with the Trans Day of Visibility.
Exactly.
But also Easter, a recap.
Yes, and we're gonna be talking. Are you telling your kids about the Easter Bunny, or are you letting them figure it out on their own?
Exactly.
We're gonna talk about that because I think that's a very good question. And last but not least, we are going to talk about Rasheed Rice. And if you're not familiar with that situation, he was allegedly involved in a car accident, in a high-speed car accident. That did somebody die, Tom?
No, I don't think anybody died.
But a couple people were definitely hospitalized.
They're definitely hurt. This isn't a Henry Ruggs situation, but because that played out completely differently. We'll save that for then, because I love not that I love that it happens, but I just love talking about those kind of things. And you'll see why in a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead.
About the goddamn bird flu.
We're going to start off with the bird flu. So just in time, 2024 election year. And you remember what happened last election year? We had a sickness. We had COVID. Well, this year, it looks like we may be ramping up for the H5N1 bird flu. And could this be the same as COVID? Are we ramping up for this, Tom?
I'm not sure. And here's why. We've had bird flu before. COVID was completely different. You know what I mean? It was something new.
COVID is just a type of virus.
COVID-19 was a completely new territory.
Right.
But H5N1, the bird flu, I'm pretty sure that's been around like for a while, hasn't it?
I remember H1N1.
Okay, H1N1 was the okay.
But I don't know what the 5 and the 1. I don't know what any of that means.
This is a mutation of the H1N1, correct?
That would be my guess.
But wasn't H1N1 the related specifically to cows? Wasn't it like hoof disease or whatever that was called? That was when we were in like 9th grade.
I don't remember. I just remember hearing about it. I obviously didn't pay enough attention back then.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell you.
But this is with direct contact with birds and poultry flocks and livestock in general.
You're saying this one?
Yeah, this one, isn't it?
Well, so let's take a look. We'll just switch over here. So this is from the CDC.
Yeah.
This is talking about the H5N1 bird flu current situation summary. So if we just take a look here. So back in January, I guess these are just some spotlights. Back in January, there was a new study that highlights importance of bird flu surveillance in live bird markets. Okay. First human influenza A, H5N1 bird flu virus infections in Cambodia reported for 2024.
Starting in pretty much a third world country.
In a shithole.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Cambodia. And then looks like, what's that?
They got some good cocaine.
Maybe. It looks like at the end of last month, highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1 virus in animals, interim recommendations for prevention, monitoring, and public health investigations. 3 days later, highly pathogenic H5N1 virus infection reported in a person in the United States. Whoa. And then a day later after that, summary analysis of genetic sequence of in Texas. H5N1 virus in Texas. So according to this, there are 2 cases in the United States.
I wonder if you click on it, if it shows where.
All right, so let's take real fast before we check on that. Wild birds, it's widespread in wild birds, poultry flocks, sporadic outbreaks, mammals. So I'm guessing this is all current. Like this is where it's
Well,
being
it was
detected.
updated today.
Yeah,
Updated April
this
3rd.
is fresh.
Fresh.
Current public health risk low. Person to person spread none that they know of yet. Right.
Yeah, it can mutate.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from there, and let's take a look at that 2 persons. All right, so H5N1 virus infection reported in a person in the U.S.
So it was in Texas. It's reported by Texas and confirmed by the CDC.
I'm gonna make this bigger. I don't know if
Okay.
this is visible. All right. Read that again. What'd you say?
All right, so a person in the United States has tested positive for highly pathogenic avian influenza, as reported by Texas and confirmed by the CDC.
Texas.
This
Okay.
person had exposure to dairy cattle in Texas, presumed to be infected with HPAI-A, the H5N1 viruses. The patient reported eye redness consistent with conjunctivitis as their only symptom and is recovering. The patient was told to isolate and is being treated with an antiviral drug for flu. It doesn't change the H5N1 bird flu human health risk assessment for the U.S. general public, which they consider to be low. However, people with close or prolonged unprotected exposure to infected birds or other animals, including livestock, or environments contaminated by infected birds or livestock, are at greater risk of infection. CDC has interim recommendations for prevention, monitoring, and public health investigations of HPAI-A, H5N1 viruses.
This CDC is working with the state. So right here, this is a second person reported. We've been in contact CDC. Second person reported to have tested positive for H5N1 viruses in the United States. Previous human case, 2022 in Colorado. So H5N1 has been around.
It has been around.
Okay. So somebody had it in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Human infections with avian influenza A viruses, including H5, are uncommon but have occurred sporadically worldwide. CDC has been monitoring for illness among people exposed to H5 virus-infected birds. In 2021 is when they first detected that. Jesus Christ, all these are new.
So if you go down to the next paragraph, it says unpasteurized milk from sick cattle collected from 2 dairy farms in Kansas and 1 in Texas, as well as a throat swab from a cow in another dairy in Texas, tested positive for HPAI-A, viruses of the genetic clade 2.3.4.4b, which is the same clade that is widespread among birds globally. So it says unpasteurized. So does that mean that if you pasteurize the milk, that disease goes away?
That's
think
a good
about
question.
it. Like, think about it. We were always told when you were younger, make sure you cook your meat or else you'll get sick because of the pathogens and viruses.
Especially with like poultry.
Poultry, especially.
Right.
Like, I remember, like, my dad would, like, pan fry the chicken, you know, and then he'd put it in the glass dish and, like, put the sauce on it and then put it in the oven for another 20 minutes. And I always thought to myself, like, why?
Got to get it up to temp.
I want the piece of chicken now, you know? But no, you got to get it up to temp. So doesn't that kill sickness? Like, how is this a big deal? Like, I'm not around fucking dairy farms. I cook my meat. I buy pasteurized milk. Like,
right.
How's this going to affect me?
Here's another question though. What if it's in? So we talk about the poultry, right?
Yeah.
Bird flu. Can it be transmitted through an egg?
Like just touching an egg.
Well, not even just touching an egg. What if you eat the egg?
Like crack the egg and then
eat it? Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Well, I cook my eggs.
Yeah, but people do a lot of other things with eggs too, right? You make a lot of other stuff. You can make dough. You can make cakes.
You also bake that stuff though.
But also a lot of people just eat raw eggs.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen them put the eggs in the glass and chug it while they're doing the Rocky training montage.
Right.
So, I mean, that's true. I mean, I'm just going to be really interested to see how big of a deal that they actually make of this because, like you said, it's an election year.
Right. Well, here, I mean, we can kind of get an idea, I guess, right here. So,
Jesus Christ.
So
play the video.
What?
Economists say grocery store prices should remain unaffected. Listen, bro, I'm telling you right now.
So you're all right. So where are we at here? Despite reported outbreaks of bird flu in cows across 6 states and now in chickens at a plant in Texas, officials are urging Americans not to worry. Economists say grocery store prices should remain unaffected. Okay, so let's watch this video from CBS.
If the price of beef
Because
and
you can already
chicken
see it,
goes
right?
up, I'm gonna literally shit a brick.
Let's see what they say.
The bird flu outbreak forced egg producer Cal-Maine to stop production and cull nearly 2 million chickens at its plant in Palmer County, Texas. The number represents less than 4% of the company's flock and less than 1% of chickens in the U.S.
All the eggs were destroyed. The chickens are going to be destroyed, so it's completely safe.
This comes as 6 states are reporting
How do you
outbreaks
know?
of avian flu
Holy
among dairy
shit,
cows.
dude. I didn't know. Hold on. Wait. So all these states have reported that? I didn't know that.
Among the dairy cows, not amongst people.
Right. No. I understand that. But I'm just saying, just in general, I mean, how often does this happen in the U.S. every year?
That's an interesting question. Because here, think about this. When COVID-19 was gaining traction,
Right.
it was woe is me, doomsday. There was no, oh yeah, well, we don't really know, but probably don't have anything to worry about. It was, as I remember it, it was the end of the world, bro. Like this, they're just like, well, we're gonna kill the chickens. It'll be fine.
Well,
don't worry about
all right.
it.
So to be fair, I remember hearing about COVID before COVID was COVID, and I heard about it when there were 40 cases in China, and there were no cases anywhere else mentioned, and they just kind of talked about it nonchalantly as well. But then eventually, just boom, it's like a virus bomb hit the entire world. But I'm just curious, how many?
But did they ever say with COVID, like, there's nothing to worry about? Like, we're really not concerned. Like, because
Well,
that's
yeah.
kind of the thing I got right there. Like, they were like, yeah, we're
Well,
really
no,
not
it said don't worry about. We'll rewind this a little bit, but it's saying don't worry about the economy, the price of eggs and milk, or
okay, I got you.
I mean, unless I missed it somewhere in this video. Let's rewind it a little bit. Let's listen again.
Were destroyed. The chickens are going to be destroyed, so it's completely safe.
This comes as 6 states are reporting outbreaks
They said
of
destroyed?
avian flu
They
among
said-
of chickens in the U.S.
All
Kill
the
them
eggs were
fuckers.
destroyed. The chickens are going to be destroyed, so it's completely safe.
This comes as 6 states are reporting outbreaks
killing all
of
those birds
avian
and all
flu
those
among
eggs, huh?
dairy
Fuck
cows.
yeah.
This week, a Texas dairy
we're
worker
not
had
even
pink
here.
eye after testing positive for the virus, becoming only the second known human case in the U.S. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says there's no reason for people to be alarmed.
The good news is this is carried by migratory waterfowl. It's migratory season, but we're on the tail end of it.
Despite the outbreaks, Texas A&M agricultural economist David Anderson says prices should remain the same.
Less than 1% of the egg-laying chickens, that's not a lot of effect on kind of the broad market that folks are going to notice at the store. We have plenty of milk production. I don't expect to see much effect of this for us consumers either.
You can't
So wait a minute. He's saying less than 1% they found the virus in?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just making sure I understood that right.
get bird flu from eating thoroughly cooked poultry or eggs, according
Okay.
to the USDA.
Whoa.
Also
That, I
bird
think that
flu
answered
from-
my
For
question.
us consumers either.
You can't get bird flu from eating thoroughly cooked poultry or eggs, according to the USDA, who
Okay.
also
Gee.
advises people wash their hands after handling raw meat and eggs.
Well, that's
The
just
message to
common
the
sense.
consumer is, just go about business as usual. No spike in prices in either egg prices or dairy products. It's completely safe.
Anderson says the price of a dozen eggs is actually down about $1 compared to last year, and that egg
Bullshit.
production
Yeah, we'll
is
see.
up, so consumers shouldn't have to worry about their morning omelet. Nora?
I hate blanket statements
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
All right.
I
Have you
truly
looked at
hate
the
the
prices,
statements
bro?
like that. Like,
All right.
down $1. Where? California, where it was $26 a dozen for eggs? Because
Yeah.
here it's the same price.
So
I know it is.
that video answered my question,
Yeah,
our question.
Yeah.
You can't get it from cooking your meat
correct.
thoroughly.
Correct.
Make sure your meat's up to temp.
But what does that mean?
Up to temp?
But hold up. people like their steaks raw, or not raw, rare, medium, medium well, or well.
Wait a minute, but did it say beef?
It said
Or-
thoroughly cooked meat.
No, poultry and eggs. I thought it
Yeah,
said.
but it's still present in cow.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I like my meat. I like my beef like medium rare.
See, I like mine rare. I like mine blue.
So
So I'm gonna have to adapt to like medium until this blows over. I guess I'll be a savage. That's fine. I don't know how you guys eat it without like all the pink, man. Like
medium rare is there's plenty of pink.
yeah, but there's also a lot of gray in there, bro. It's tough.
Nah, not medium rare if you cook it right.
Let me ask you a question. Do you use A1 sauce?
No, usually not.
You
Sometimes.
use the natural juices of your steak, don't you?
Yeah. But I
See,
season
that's
it
why I
well.
love you, bro.
But that answered our question
It
about
does.
the eggs. That was my big thing.
Yeah, because you
But-
brought up a great point. Like when you mix it and shit like that, it permeates the entirety. Like Megan does her her cake business, right?
Right.
Like, how would that translate? You know what I mean? Dough for bread. I mean, sourdough is predicated on the shit fermenting. The egg is gonna sit there and be raw.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, the whole thing there.
But
It's a great question.
all right, so let's so how prepared is the US for an outbreak of the bird flu? And
It's a good question.
apparently Washington Post asked this question, and zoom in here. I don't know.
Yes, yesterday.
All right, so this article is from yesterday. Yep, and federal officials are preparing for the possibility of additional human cases of bird flu, testing components to create a vaccine after a Texas dairy worker was infected with the highly
Virulent.
I can't say that virulent virus. Even as they stress, the United States remains far from needing to activate a full-blown emergency response. Two candidate vaccine viruses, essentially the building blocks manufacturers use to produce a vaccine, appear well matched to protect against the H5N1 strain circulating among dairy cattle and birds, according to the federal health officials. It'd probably be weeks to months before those shots could first be made available if needed, according to a Health and Human Services official who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe an ongoing investigation. Top officials at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said the agency is well poised to detect if a person has H5N1 through the agency's regular surveillance for seasonal flu at more than 100 public health labs in all states, as well as enhanced monitoring put in place in 2022 for anyone who has been exposed to birds infected with that strain. So it sounds like they're ready to detect it if they need to.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they have like a building block vaccine, right?
Mhm.
That's what it says.
It's basically, it said it without saying it.
Yeah, so they're
You can
like,
infer.
oh, we already got a vaccine prepped, ready to go for you guys.
Yeah.
They're ready to fucking throw that jab back in our arm.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather have it than them be like, hey, we're shit out of luck?
I'd like to see the numbers, the stats, the side effects. I would just like to see some research, as far as how severe H5N1 is. I mean, the guy had pink eye. What else was there?
Correct.
I will take pink eye
But what,
over a jab.
what I'm saying is wouldn't you be more happy that we have a vaccine if it became really bad? Like, say it mutates, because infections and illnesses.
Yeah, no, I
mutate.
think we should-
It's pink eye today, but
You know what? Here's my motto. Better to have it and not need it.
then need it and not have it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they
I'm
have
with
stuff
it.
like that like available. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that these guys just have something the minute that it comes up. I mean, I think that they know about this stuff from previous diseases. They prepare themselves. They develop hey, this is a building block just in case something else ever comes out. We have a good base here, and then we can expand on that. Kind of like Legos, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you have your base of Legos, you're going to build your fort, but then, you're a kid. Oh, man, well, I want to build an airship instead. Okay, So then you go out and build that, but you can always come back to that base.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's a real rudimentary like kind of comparison, but
It's like a lamp.
yeah,
You can change the lampshade, but the lamp's going to stay the same.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
So also, let's see. So we continue on. CDC and the whole U.S. government is taking this situation very seriously. CDC Director Amanda Cohen said in an interview, "We had not seen avian flu in cattle prior to last week. That is new. It is a reservoir for virus to circulate and potentially change." Just what you just said, to mutate. The development underscores critical questions about whether the country is equipped to handle an influenza outbreak. I want to get to the meat and potatoes of this. Let's see. Or is that pretty much it? The heightened attention on bird flu comes after. So it sounds like we're getting prepared for this. Looks like we have some things in place.
Since the bird flu isn't a novel virus, some experts believe the country is better prepared to tackle such an outbreak than COVID.
Right.
Caution against overconfidence. And see, that's exactly what I think. I think that we're prepared, and I think that COVID laid a great foundation for us in how to be prepared.
But here also, federal funding for pandemic influenza has not kept up with the threat, even by the government's own assessments. That comes from Tom Daschle, former Senate Majority Leader and head of Coalition of Stop Flu. So I guess we may not even have the money for it in our budget. It's real interesting, but then again, what did Operation Warp Speed gave a whole bunch of money for COVID vaccine?
Absolutely.
But so I mean, we're talking about the U.S. government and funding and all that good stuff. What does the actual White House have to say?
Ms. Jean-Pierre.
KJP, what does the White House actually have to say about this whole thing? What do they got going on?
Is the White House about bird flu?
So, look, this is something that we are certainly monitoring. We have been, CDC has been certainly working on top, working and focusing on this. We take health and safety of the American people seriously. It is very important to this president. Our top priority is to keep communities healthy, safe, and informed.
How worried is the White House about bird flu?
All right. They're on it, apparently. So they're aware.
They're aware of it.
She's pretty nonchalant, but then again, 2 cases, but only 1 this year.
But I mean, what's she supposed to do? You know what I mean? She's supposed to be like, oh my God, like, we're so sorry this happened.
Well, all right,
we're on it, you know?
No, I think she did a decent job. She basically said we're watching it, but she could have been like the last guy. He was pretty like optimistic. He's like, nothing to worry about. All the chickens are going to be destroyed, all the eggs.
But there's a stark difference there. There's a stark difference. He works
that she's
in that
a fucking
field.
zombie.
He works in that field. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can speak to it with confidence.
But he's not a medical professional.
No, he's not.
And he doesn't have all the
animals.
But he also doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't have all the intel that the White House is going to have either, as far as
correct.
Actual numbers of. I mean, there were what? How many states? 6?
There was Idaho, Michigan, Ohio,
Texas,
Kansas, and I think Oklahoma or Colorado.
No, sure.
One of the
maybe Colorado. I think it was Colorado.
But I mean, she's just being calculated and calm. I mean, when I watch a political thing, I want the person to be kind of like that, calm, calculated, and right to the point, and we're done. Because you're doing politics, you're not trying to hold my hand. You know what I mean? Like, if an NFL coach is up on a podium, I want them to kind of be like passionate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but them,
I don't
it's kind of
know.
like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
No, she's the secretary, whatever the hell, the White House secretary.
Mm-hmm.
She is the voice for the president in these circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to instill a confidence in America.
I feel you.
But I don't think she. I mean, I think she did a decent job of saying, "Yeah, we're watching it," but I think she could have reassured us. Like, there's one case, they've got, we're watching it. They've already shut down plants to deflect or to prevent any additional spread. We're taking measures, we've got it under control. If she would have said that, we've got it under control, she would have won me.
But what if in 3 weeks something happens and it's not under
Exactly.
control?
That's why I'm not reassured, bro.
But then you'd be on this show with me and you'd be like, bro, stupid Democrats, they told me they have it under control.
I
and they
would.
don't.
Because then I'd be like, you fucks are lying.
Yeah, but that's what you wanted to hear. I have it under control.
I would love for them to say that. And I would love for them to be right about it.
But no one's ever going to be right when it comes to something like this. I think it's impossible to say with certainty.
There are odds, though, right? There are obviously odds because there were 40 people with COVID before it even in China. 40 people with
China.
40 people with COVID in China.
Yeah.
And we were hearing about it here in the U.S.
Yeah,
so they
but
knew.
That makes sense, though.
How, though?
Because China's one of the most populated cities in the world, or not cities, but countries in the world. And a lot of people fly over to China, and a lot of Chinese people live here. And it was around the holiday time. So it stands to reason that people that were in China were going to fly back to the United States.
This is spring break. We're in spring break time.
Correct. What's
People
that
are traveling all over the place.
They are traveling all over the place. But it's not international like China. This is staying here in America. You know what I mean? Like someone from
You don't think we got people going to China?
For spring break?
Maybe not for spring break. Just in general.
I hope we're going over to China and transmitting that bird flu. Fuck, it's payback for COVID.
They gave us
baby.
the bat flu, huh?
Exactly. They gave us the bird flu. We're going to give them the bird flu. Give them the bird flu. Now, see, this really puts a irk maybe, or gives credence to people who say that birds are drones.
I was gonna bring. All right, so I was gonna bring something
Think about
up.
that.
All right, so I was thinking. I don't know about drones. I'm not on that level, but yeah, I showed you that video.
You did
from earlier today, right?
You did.
That was a lot of friggin' birds.
That was a lot of birds.
That was a lot of birds. I've never seen that many birds above my house. And
there were a lot of birds at our house yesterday.
And this has been consistent for the last couple of weeks. I've seen.
Okay.
How many birds did you see there? At least 100.
In yours, at least 100. At my house, it was probably like 10, 15. They were swooping around.
No, there were at least 100 big blackbirds in my house.
But when I say 10 to 15, I'm not saying I'm saying that's kind of uncommon.
Right. No. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so this has been consistent for the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
I've been hearing about this bird flu for at least a week now. It's 2024.
It's an election year.
Did they release these birds over the U.S. to come infect us with bird flu?
I don't know, dude.
I mean, if you're thinking birds are drones from the government, then you gotta believe that them sending out birds to infect us.
That's what I was getting at. Like, I know people in my family, my immediate family, who say birds are drones. And now with this going on, I'm kind of like, well, what if they are like machine government things and they're just going around spreading disease, man, to like cull us? You know what I mean? Like, it could be a thing.
There's a lot of birds about.
There are a lot of birds.
I've never seen as many birds.
That was in that video. There were a crazy amount of
birds. It looked like the movie
The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Great film. That was hilarious when you posted that on Facebook, and Jared, our buddy Jared, was like, wasn't there a movie about birds?
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
The Birds, Jared.
Yeah.
My boy Jared Frayne, shout out.
I don't know. Birds. Bird is the word.
Bird is the
bird
word.
Flu.
Have you heard? I'm glad everybody heard.
Heard who? Heard bird flu?
Because the bird is the word. Hey.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see if this bird flu is really going to be a contentious point for election
going
year.
Forward.
Yes.
Because this is a pivotal year. We either retain Joe Biden.
This is the most important. This is going to be the craziest election of our lives.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Now, if Donald Trump cemented as the Republican nominee,
I don't know if
we go cast the ballot.
I mean, he's going to be on there, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting election, and I'm really curious if this bird flu epidemic. It's not even. It's just freaking one person.
There's nothing yet.
But
this bird flu
this
situation.
bird flu outbreak.
Can you call it an outbreak?
It's in the animals. I'll call it an outbreak because it's within the animals.
Okay.
All right. Maybe not a human outbreak, but animal outbreak.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
very
I'm really
fair.
curious if this is going to affect our election coming up. And I'm curious what you think, if you think this is going to affect our election coming up. So let us know in the comments below. And yeah, we'll talk about it because it's interesting. So
It's very interesting.
thank you guys so much for joining us on this one. And we will see you on the next one. Adios. All right, Tom.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on. Now we are moving on.
We're gonna see what we can talk about.
All right, and speaking of seeing, some visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Did you know that already? Did you set that up?
I did.
All right. See, I'm not that far ahead because I can't even remember what was on the list. All right. So Tom, you start this one. Start this one off.
Give
for
me one second. I'm looking something up for this actually.
Okay. Then you want me to run it? And
One
then,
second.
Okay.
All right. So
I have no links or anything for this, but
there is a supposed issue that people are raising with this past Easter, that it was also the Trans Day of Visibility. A lot of people, a lot of keyboard warriors went around and they started saying Joe Biden declared it on this day to be a slap in the face to Easter and to Christianity. That couldn't be farther from the truth. March 31st, dating back to 2010, has been the Trans Day of Visibility.
You're getting too far ahead, brother. Let's look all this up at one time. Let's kind of go through this. All right, so let's go. So you said Trans Day of Visibility when?
March 31st.
Okay, so we'll just take a look here. And the founder, Rachel Crandall Crocker, Transgender Day of Visibility is on March 31st. But in 2009, Rachel of Michigan founded the Trans Day of Visibility to be held on March 31st to remind us that there is more to our lives and stories than tragedy.
Yes.
Okay, so March 31st.
Yes.
Got it.
That was in 2009.
2009, started.
It has happened twice since then that it has fallen on Easter, because Easter's not like Christmas. Easter doesn't fall on the same day.
Like April Fool's Day,
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day, Christmas, New Year's, your
Yeah.
birthday,
Your 4th of July.
4th of July.
That doesn't happen on the same day of every year.
Right.
So a lot of people are upset and are blaming Joe Biden and saying this is a slap in the face and he's pushing an agenda. Well, really, Joe Biden isn't pushing anything. I think that chick is on Jeopardy. I'm dead serious. I've been watching Jeopardy Tournament of Champions, and her name is Rachel.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's her.
That's
I'm
her face?
almost positive.
Not only is she a
But she's brilliant. She's on Jeopardy, dude. She hasn't missed a question.
if that's her.
If that's her, she
If
hasn't
that's
missed
her.
a question. Anyway, I understand that people are hesitant to and I got to word this the right way. I understand that many people out there are hesitant to accept the visibility of people who identify as transgender. I understand that. I respect both viewpoints because I understand being hesitant to accept something that you don't understand. But I also acknowledge those people who do identify with a different gender than the one they were assigned at birth. I respect it. Like, it's not my story. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But part of being comfortable with who you are, I think, is allowing others to be comfortable with who they are. Because you've gotten that. Do you know how hard some people work to be comfortable with themselves? So why not extend that grace to other people?
Understood.
And again, I understand why people are hesitant to accept people being transgender or people identifying with
So
people that are transgender.
I don't think that's the big deal for.
So what's the big deal?
I think that I think people are up in arms about Transgender Day of Visibility because the way that the Biden administration and the White House kind of prioritize that over Easter. You have a lot of Christians are mad, saying this is a slap in the face to Christians. Easter has been Easter for thousands of years, right?
But Easter doesn't own March 31st.
Right.
Trans
But
Day of Visibility owns March 31st.
okay, I see what you're saying, but so Easter has been which day would you say is a bigger holiday?
For me myself, I would say Easter.
Okay, most people would say
As a
Easter.
Christian,
Most
Easter.
people would say Easter. So that's where a lot of Christians are up in arms saying the White House, the Biden administration prioritized transgender Day of Visibility over Easter, and they basically they didn't show as much love to Easter as they did to this woke ideology.
I think that's I think that's I understand your point, but Christianity is one of the biggest religions in the world, right?
Mhm.
If not the largest.
It's not the largest. But
Okay, perfect. Then that helps my point. If you put more, if you
Okay.
put more of an emphasis on Easter, and you make it, oh, happy Easter, happy this, happy that, you're basically at that point forcing people to recognize Easter as the holiday, right?
Okay.
A lot of what about the Buddhist people?
Sure.
What about the Buddhists that live in America? What about the Jewish people?
All right, but okay,
what
what?
about the atheists?
No, I understand, but they don't. There's not a holiday on those two. There's not two holidays that coincide on the same day,
Generally, there's not.
right? So I don't think that's a fair assessment. And not only that, Christianity is way bigger than transgender ideology or whatever you want to
But
call
that
it.
just
Right?
because it's bigger doesn't mean it's more important.
We're talking politics here.
We are talking politics.
We're talking politics, where politics is hearts and minds.
Mhm.
Are there more Christians or more transgenders?
There's definitely more Christians
That's
that we
my
know
point.
of.
That's my point. Who do you want to captivate? Whose hearts and minds do you want to win over?
In this instance,
In this instance,
I would want to win over the transgenders. Why?
yes.
So they can feel seen. This is an
Sure.
election
Okay,
year.
it's not about not being seen. Okay, you can pay respects and you can make a post, right? But here, let me give you this.
Let me
example.
ask you a question.
Let me give you this example first.
Okay.
Okay. So this is from the White House.
Yep.
This is a post from the White House on X, and this is on Easter. This is their Happy Easter post. Happy Easter from the Biden-Harris administration. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. This is their post. Happy Easter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 words in a picture, right? Now, let's look at the post that they made for Transgender Day of Visibility. Transgender Americans are part of the fabric of our nation. On Transgender Day of Visibility, our administration honors the extraordinary courage of transgender Americans and reaffirms our commitment to forming a more perfect union where all people are treated equally. Today, we send a message to all transgender Americans. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. You belong. President Biden. Now, how much more effort do you think was put into this post versus the one for Easter?
A lot more, and I'm going to tell you
A
why.
lot more.
I'm going to tell you why.
So which
Everybody
one looks more
knows
important to the White House and to the Biden administration?
The Transgender Day of Visibility,
Right.
absolutely. But I think there's a reason for that. Everybody knows the story of Easter. Easter for weeks ahead of time. The churches are going hog wild over over Easter. I mean, you got the Easter bunny in the mall. You've got candy shops going on sale. You've got dinners going on for Lent where you literally go into the restaurant, and if you want meat, oh, well, we're running a really limited meat menu tonight. It's mainly fish.
Transgenders have an entire month of June that they get to celebrate and be heard and be seen.
That's good. Christians for years have dominated the cycle. And I think it's time that we recognize these people, man. Like,
sure.
So let me say something to you.
All right, go ahead.
A lot of people say this is a slap to the face of Christians.
Fix your mic.
A lot of people are saying this is a slap to the face of Christians.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Why is it a slap in the face? And so it's mainly Christians that are mad about this. But in the Bible, Peter, verse 4, 8 through 10. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. You know how he landed on that quote? What did Jesus say makes someone a good Christian? So literally, that Bible verse is saying, no matter who it is, no matter what it is, just love each other and be good to them. Right?
So do you think
does that exclude transgenders because they're different?
I'm not, bro. I'm not. I think you completely misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you have a demographic. You have two demographics.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the demographic. I'm talking.
But you're saying we should cater to the minority and ignore the majority.
The majority is the majority for a reason. They've been catered to their whole lives. These people started getting catered to maybe within the last 10 years. Maybe within the last 10 years. And honestly, it's giving more people courage to become better versions of themselves. And a lot of people are upset that it fell on March 31st. I understand. I'm a Christian myself. But this shit doesn't bother me because I'm well enough versed in my faith and in my relationship with God that, hey man, if it fell on that day, good for them, because now it's two holidays in one. That's fucking great. There's two people, and if they're a transgender Christian, they can celebrate two. How often does that happen? That you can celebrate two holidays on the same day. That's sweet. Not only did the Easter Bunny give you your gift, but you can be comfortable in your skin. That's a good fucking day, right? And listen, March 31st. So is it just supposed to be like 7 years from now? It's going to fall on March 31st again, which Easter might fall on March 30th. What I'm saying is Easter might fall on March 31st that year.
It will again eventually.
Should they just say, hey, you know what? It's Easter Sunday. This Trans Day of Visibility, we'll find another day.
No, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary.
So
I mean, you can,
necessary?
like I said, you can still pay respect. But what I'm saying is, they're putting so much effort into, to catering to and appeasing the transgender.
I don't think it's about catering and appeasing to.
It is though. It's this woke ideology that they want to virtue signal, and that they want to say, we support you hardcore, but really they're just doing it for clicks, honestly.
That could very well be that they're doing it for clicks, but they're still doing it. And someone who might not subscribe to the woke ideology, that might be a transgender's might actually believe, okay, they see me and now I feel validated and now I feel better. Hey, maybe life isn't that bad anymore.
Do we know, did the White House say anything last year about Transgender Day of Visibility? And I wouldn't know how to go through here and search for that. That's a lot of posts that I would have to.
I got you.
Can you sort them?
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, you show me. If you find it, airdrop it to me. I would have to go back
Hold up.
a long time. Yeah, I'll never get there.
I got you. I'm on X.com. For some reason, my internet's running super slow. Why can't I go to advanced search on Twitter?
So I'm looking. I mean, I could do it on here if I knew how. Where do I go, Tom?
You got to go to your advanced search.
Where's that?
I'm trying to find it.
I'm
I did this not too long ago.
All right, so is it just on search settings?
Yeah, not there.
White House?
Log into your Twitter account and go to Twitter advanced search.
Where the hell is that? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it, bro.
Here we go.
You found it?
Yes.
We're gonna
From
see
these accounts at what is it? White House?
At White House, yeah.
And
Dude, what'd you type in for the keyword?
transgender.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're gonna have it.
But hold up, you can go by date
Okay. All right.
from
Just March.
March 23,
That's it.
or not March 3rd, March 30th. Let's go March 30th to
April 1st.
April 1st of 23.
Let's look it up. Top. March 31st. Hold on.
On Trans Day of Visibility.
Biden celebrates enjoy.
And this is what he tweeted.
I feel like it's the same exact shit they used last year.
So that's even a little bit more disingenuous.
I know, right? Oh, we're
Now-
just gonna recycle this.
I want to look something up.
Send me
I'm going to
airdrop,
airdrop you the link.
airdrop me the link real
But
quick.
let me look something else up real quick. Because I think this will be interesting. I think this is going to be very interesting.
I don't know how to turn airdrop. Oh yeah, you should see me if you airdrop it. Give it a second. Or not. Hold
Hold up. I'm going to type in transgender.
on. Okay.
And I'm going to do White House. And I'm going to do March 18th or 2018, March 30th of 2018.
So you're gonna see if
Trump ever
Trump-
did it.
yeah, I doubt it, brother. I doubt it.
Let's see. Nothing.
Anything.
Nothing. There's nothing from there in 2018.
Okay.
Wow. Interesting. So Donald Trump didn't subscribe to that.
I mean that's pretty obvious. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that I just think they made a much bigger deal about transgender day of visibility than they did about Easter. Which, I mean, whatever. That's their.
Each got one post, bro. It
But
was
a
the media
lot
that
more
blew it up.
effort went into the transgender day of visibility
Okay.
than the Easter.
This might not be the greatest comparison, but I'm going to ask you a question. Would you rather hear right now, this is today, this
Okay.
is March 3rd or April 3rd, 2024. Would you rather hear right now, someone's coming to you with a movie, right? Would you rather hear something that's you maybe heard the idea about 10 years ago, but it's a compelling story, and you're like, that's good. Or would you rather someone come to you with like, oh man, I got this pitch for this movie, and it's about Batman, and in it we're gonna do Batman's origin story, and we're gonna cover his greatest villains, and we're gonna do this, 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 and this. A story that has been told for years and years and years and hasn't changed, and it's all the same. Or would you rather hear this new story?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
Why are there so many remakes and not as many originals?
What do you mean? Like remakes of films?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
people have ran out of ideas.
No, because people love the old shit. People love the old shit.
You're right. And then the remake comes out and it's dog shit.
And people still fucking love it. Star Wars has been being made since the fucking, 50s?
70s.
70s.
Can I tell you a
and
truth
they're
about
still
that?
making that shit.
I
The
haven't watched one of
Batmans,
them.
Supermans, Iron Mans, Hulk, Godzilla, and fucking King Kong. People love the old shit. Planet
Yeah.
of the Apes. It's not sure they run. There's no shortage of ideas in Hollywood in general. There's no shortage of ideas. People love the old shit. They like what's familiar. They like what they know. They like what they trust.
So, by that logic, 50 years from now, people like what they know. People like what they trust. People like the old stuff. 50 years from now, it's going to be 2074. We will be 85 years old. 86, maybe. By that time, because it's an older story and because it's been around for a while, will people be more accepting of transgenders? It's an old story at that point.
Will they be more accepting?
Yeah.
No, because the story of transgenders isn't even a news story.
Yeah, it was happening back in like ancient Greece. The eunuchs.
It's just not a popular story. No matter how many centuries and millennia have passed, it's not a popular story.
I think it's unfortunate.
It's a risque story. It's one of those stories that you don't tell your kids.
I don't know, man.
But
I
are
think-
still like intriguing. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'll always tell my kids to accept them, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm saying you don't throw on X or R-rated movies for the 5 or 6 year old in the room, right?
My dad did.
Well, speaking from same here, but to each their own, right? But in general, that's why they put that's why they put the ratings on the TV.
Yeah, that's why.
But yeah, stories, people like the old shit, and people like what they're loyal to, especially when it has to do with their beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, I just think,
And I think that when you have a people of one large group, you shouldn't. You have a majority, you have a minority. You shouldn't try to appease and highlight the minority while lightweight just kind of getting by with the majority.
I understand. But this holiday was also about the sacrifice, the most selfless thing that a man has ever done for his people and the people to come.
Cut off his dick. Oh, what?
Crucified on the cross.
Oh, that too.
Now,
Because
I
cutting
think
off your
it's-
dick is a hell of a sacrifice, bro.
for some people, maybe.
Ooh,
But
that's a sacrifice. You ain't.
I just think it's really disingenuous for Christians to get upset over this because they aren't highlighting Christian.
Let me make it.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Christians, a lot of Christians I heard were up in arms because this is our holiday. This is our holiday, right? You understand you're being selfish about a holiday that is about a man making the greatest sacrifice ever. Like he let himself be murdered so that other people can have their sins forgiven and can live, and right? So you want this holiday to be all about you, but at the end of the day, Jesus made it all about you. You already have it all about you, bro, because you're living free. You're living like he gave his life for you. You already are reaping the benefit of the holiday by being here, right? So to be upset that it's not being made more about them is so disingenuous, because the holiday is about the greatest sacrifice ever. And if you really want to be more like Christ and be more like a good Christian, you would understand the sacrifice and be okay with making that sacrifice, because he already made that for you. So go ahead and make that sacrifice.
Yeah. I don't know. I
got real passionate right there.
You know, and I honestly I couldn't care about either holiday, in my personal opinion. Most holidays I don't care too much about, but I just think when you have a majority, you should probably, especially when, you know, especially when you're representing the people within those groups.
You know who else catered to the majority? Adolf Hitler.
Okay, but my
he catered to a majority, and it was dangerous.
Sure, and I'm not saying, like, obviously there's right and wrong.
Yeah,
but I mean, this doesn't have to do with right and wrong. This just has to do with when you represent a people of two groups. I just don't think you should slight one of them to the majority to highlight or to lift up the other.
I get what you're saying. I'm just not seeing where the slight was. I'm just not. Like, there's not much more you can say about Easter. Happy Easter.
I don't know. I mean, it's a day about Christ. How about thank you to, you know, for making the ultimate sacrifice. What do they say on Easter? He is risen.
He is risen.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could say a lot. You could say a lot, but it's just Happy Easter.
Yeah. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Like I said, I don't care either way. I just thought it was interesting, and I thought there was some. I thought it was a pretty good point that was being made.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you think. What do you think? Was that a slap in the face to Christians, or were they right to give such respect and appraisal or upliftingness to Transgender Day of Visibility? I didn't even know it was a holiday, to be honest with you, until this year. But it is what it is. Anyways, let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this one, and we will see you next time. Peace. And Tom, we still got a little bit more about Easter, so we're not going to go anywhere yet.
Okay.
Here's what I want to know, because this year is the first year that we didn't really do Easter in my house like we do Easter every year.
Okay. Okay.
This year is the first year that my son did not get an Easter basket.
What?
Now he's been kind of saying this for a couple of years that the Easter Bunny isn't real. Easter Bunny isn't real. Well, once the Easter Bunny's not real, Easter Bunny don't bring no basket. You understand what I'm saying? But this caused some controversy in my house.
Okay.
Because my wife is completely into the holidays. She loves to do the Easter baskets, loves to do all the Christmas, it's Christmas morning, presents under the tree, Santa came. Tooth Fairy, not so much, right? Like, Tooth Fairy is another thing. Yeah. But this is the first year we didn't do Easter.
Okay.
Because now my son is old enough, and he's kind of been pushing this Easter Bunny isn't real thing for a while now. So we officially just kind of like gave up on it. I did. But then again, I'm bah humbug anyways.
Before we get too deep into it, how old is your son?
12.
Okay.
So my wife was pretty upset this year because we didn't do Easter, and I don't know if it's because her baby boy's getting older, or if she just misses doing those kind of things for these holidays, getting in the spirit. So here's my question. Mm-hmm. Should we have just played it off like the Easter Bunny was real, even though my son doesn't believe in it, and just continued doing it? Should we have not even told him about the Easter Bunny to begin with? Like, do you tell? I mean, does Wyatt? Did you guys have the conversation kind of with Wyatt? Like, do you guys talk to him about the Easter Bunny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, as far as Wyatt knows, all those dudes exist.
Right.
All of them exist because kids are only kids for so long, right? They're only kids for so long. And I think for me, when I turned 15, there was a seismic shift in the household. I didn't believe in that stuff anymore. I didn't believe in it for a long time, but I never told my parents that, you know what I mean? Because they made everything so great, right? But around like 15, 16 years old, I was like, well, he doesn't even fucking exist, so what's it matter? You know what I mean? And I saw my mom and dad like get physically crushed. Like, they knew I knew he didn't exist, but I never verbalized it, right?
Right.
So there was a change in the household, and I noticed from then that magic feeling kind of went away. At that point, it was just, oh yeah, presents are here, you know? There was no like, oh yeah, Santa came and he ate the cookies you guys left for him, and just that stuff that made Christmas a little more magical. Like that year,
So
the
would you?
fire was lit in the fireplace.
Mhm.
And my dad never did that. Ever. Dude. We had that fireplace from like age 7.
So you
on.
knew Santa wasn't coming down that thing.
I knew Santa and my dad knew
So
Santa
let me
wasn't coming.
Let me ask you a question though. Whenever you found out that the Easter Bunny, Santa, all that wasn't real, were you upset?
No.
You kind of felt like a man now. You're like, oh, see how, or is that how you felt? You felt grown, more like part of the in crowd, like part of the clique.
So it was about 14 when I understood. Well, I knew, but I understood, you know, because I was like 14. I'm like, there's no Santa, but how the fuck? Mom's always at work. How's she getting me these gifts, you know, because she's at work and dad ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so there's still just a little bit of magic in my mind.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I understood, and I remember this very clearly. I was sitting there, and you know, there's no Santa Claus, and that sucks. But I got a mom who's doing everything in her power to get me these Jordans and this Tony Hawk game and this like Jordan hoodie. You know what I mean? Like just random shit out there. I didn't feel so much grown as after thinking about it, like, why did I have to do that to my mom and dad? It wasn't that they lied to
So
me.
did you kind of feel crushed then? That you just kind of like ruined
to this
the
day, I
spirit
feel
for your
crushed.
parents?
To this day, I feel crushed, and I overcompensate. I overcompensate at Christmas and stuff now. Like, in no world did my mother need a Samsung Galaxy tablet and AirPods and an Apple Watch for Christmas 2 years ago. There's no world in which someone making less than $100,000 a year should go out and buy that for their mother. But I did.
Obviously, your situation is a little bit different with Wyatt.
Wyatt will never not know that those people don't exist.
Right. And that's
My other
understandable.
son, though, or when I have a son or when I have a daughter,
Right.
because we
That's
will.
how are you gonna tell them that they don't exist, or are you gonna let them believe until they figure it out?
I'm going to let them believe until they figure it out, but I have told this to Megan. I'm going to tell them around your brother, you will never say any different. You will never say any different.
So you're gonna let them figure it out.
I don't care if he's fucking 50. I'm still going to talk about Santa Claus around Wyatt, right? But my other son or daughter, so Wyatt's 50 at this point, Wyatt's 9 right now, so 49 years old. You better still be asking me where fucking Santa, what gifts are from Santa and what aren't, because I think that the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, they're things to make kids be kids. Because the world is so cruel, right? That if there can just be a little bit of magic in their lives, then they need that. Let me ask you a question. So Gianni's 12, and he still believed in the Easter Bunny last year. Maybe not.
I don't
as
think
much?
he did.
Okay.
I don't think he
When
did.
do you think he stopped believing in the Easter Bunny?
Prior to this,
So
prior to
like
last
age
year.
10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Santa Claus probably around the same time.
No, Santa Claus. Maybe. I think last. Yeah, maybe the same time because
Okay.
I think this past year is the first year where we kind of didn't do the whole Santa Claus thing.
So you didn't do it, and Easter was a very different dynamic for you this year, I imagine. It was a different feeling, at least, because no basket, that kind of thing. You might have not done your Easter dinner like you usually did.
I mean, we did this Easter dinner, like we did stuff like that, but we didn't. We didn't wake up to a basket, things like that.
I remember a couple years ago, you and I were playing Call of Duty.
Oh God, this was more than a couple years ago.
Yeah,
then.
I was still
Okay.
living at my mom and dad's house.
Okay.
We were playing the zombies,
Okay.
and you said, "Hey, I got to get off for like an hour," and Willie and I were playing with you, and we were like, "Where are you going?" Well, G planted jelly beans in the yard, and I'm about to go.
Holy shit! You remember that?
You're one of my best friends in the world. I remember a lot of the things you tell me. You were
I
putting
feel like a shitty friend now.
you were putting suckers in the yard.
Yeah.
You put suckers in the yard because you said that the jelly beans were going to grow into suckers.
Yeah, they were like seeds. You planted
Yeah.
seeds, and yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. This is a different time now. Looking back, do you really appreciate those years that he did?
Oh
Does
yeah,
it give you a
absolutely.
different appreciation now?
Yeah, I do, and even though I'm very bah humbug, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just tell him the truth from the jump. Like looking back on videos, that video in particular, and whenever he went outside the next morning and he saw that these jelly beans that we just planted the day before are now suckers in the ground, and I have the video because he went out the house by himself, and I was watching on my camera system around my house, and I was watching him walk up, and as soon as he saw it, he just got this look, and he shook his head. He started dancing. He did one of these, like, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, and in the video, like, I'm laughing because it's funny as hell, because, like, just how excited, and, like, he's so pumped, and he was like, yeah, we did it, type deal. But, yeah, no, I wouldn't change that.
No, it gives you a different appreciation when they don't believe, or when they don't believe versus when they do. For Wyatt, I'll never know if he figures out, because he can't tell me. But I'm always going to keep that magic in there because his life is tough enough with being restricted the way that he is. So if he can believe that there's a man that rides around the world to give people gifts in addition to his dad, his mom, and his stepdad giving him gifts, I want him to hold on to that. You know what I mean? Because so much magic was taken from him before he was born that if I can keep some magic there, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it, why not? It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hinder his development. It doesn't hinder who he is as a person. And like when I have more kids, fuck yeah.
Now, we talked about this before. Now, what if he does, hypothetically, does get like a Neuralink and he's able to communicate,
Yeah.
right? And then he finds out when he's 25,
Yeah.
30 years old
Sure.
that Santa or Easter Bunny isn't real. And he flips out on you and Megan because he's like, you legit let me go 30 years of my life with thinking this shit.
I would respond exactly like this. You believe for 30 years of your life, and weren't they the best Christmases in the world? Yeah. So it was your mom, me, and your dad. Yeah. And your grandma, your grandpa, whoever. Yeah. What changes? It's still going to be great. It's still going to be great.
Okay.
So what does it matter?
All right.
I did it so
That's
that
fair,
you could
Tom.
have a little bit more magic, man. Because I don't have any magic, dude. Like, I realize at age 15, Christmas wasn't great because of Santa Claus. Christmas was great because I had a mom and a dad that cared. I had a younger brother that spent 45 minutes in Champ Sports looking for the perfect Cleveland Cavs baseball cap for me. That's what made Christmas perfect. That's what made Easter perfect. Yeah, the Easter Bunny doesn't exist, but shit, man, I still got my Cadbury eggs, and I love them Cadbury eggs, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
those Cadburys
they're
are good.
still there, still magical, right? I still
Yeah,
got
you're
my
never losing the
whiskey.
magic out of the Cadburys,
Yeah, and you know the bunnies.
whether
really
the
do
Easter
do
Bunny's
that.
real or fake.
Bunnies actually do the buck, buck, buck. They actually do
Certain
that.
bunnies.
Certain bunny.
Yeah.
The bunny that died during
Yeah.
our first episode, he could do that.
Yeah.
That sucked too, because I was like,
well-
man, that'd be sweet as fuck to have that rabbit running around on Easter morning, like just like train it to have like a little basket in its mouth and like bring it over to Wyatt, like, hey, the Easter
That
bunny's
would be
here,
cool.
bro. But he was so tiny, he'd never be able to do that.
Yeah, no.
But let me ask you a question about holidays and belief. We have Santa, and Santa obviously evolved. The Easter Bunny obviously evolved. Those things evolved, right? Like from minor legends and such. Do you think that 100 years from now, the stories will still be the same?
That is a good question. Yes.
You think they will be?
Yeah, because I don't know that there's been too much of a deviation from Easter, at least.
There hasn't been.
Christmas, I think, is kind of evolved over some years.
It has. Christmas evolved big time. But I think that as long as the core message remains the same of happiness and love and all of that, I don't think it matters if the stories change. You know what I mean? Like, because all that matters is you might be telling a fib, but there's different types of fibs, right? Like, you know, you have your wife, and your wife comes to you. Does this dress make me look like bigger?
Yes.
Because I'm feeling bigger.
It does.
No, it doesn't. You know, but maybe she does look a little bit bigger.
So then do you tell her yes or do you tell her
I tell
no?
her no.
Why?
Why? Because that's never happened with my wife. I'm just giving an instance. But my wife's opinion of herself matters to me so much that I don't ever want to be the reason that she feels less than. And by her asking me that, I'm going to be the reason she feels less than.
I am a fan of honesty. And that's why I said, even when my son was younger, I was the person who would say, I don't care to even tell him that the Easter Bunny exists, you know, stuff like that. But I am a fan of honesty. And I'm not going to, if my wife were to ask me that and I really did think she looked a little bit bigger, I would tell her. I wouldn't say it in a demeaning way.
Yeah.
I'll say,
I wouldn't think that you would.
I would, you know, I'll say, oh, yeah, it does, you know, looks like it fits you a little bit tighter than it did last time, you know, something along those lines.
But then
like,
you finish it with, but
did
ain't
it-
nothing wrong with that, boo.
yeah, I mean, of course, always uplift, but I mean, like, I think there's a way to be honest
Without being an asshole.
without being an asshole.
Yeah.
And because really, if I ask the question, like, dang, do I look like I'm gaining a little bit of weight?
No,
I would want the fucking truth.
you don't.
But I am, and
But
I
you don't
do,
look like it.
bro.
Oh shit, bro.
I'm sucking it in for the camera.
Oh man, see, I don't have to suck it in for the camera because I've been fat.
No, seriously though, I want the truth. I want the truth. If I look like I'm gaining a little bit of weight, like I would want to know that because
me to tell
I
you?
want to be able to. I want the opportunity to work on myself.
Be better, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be lied to, so I feel good. Tell me the fucking truth.
You've never lied to me. I know that for a fact. You're one of the few people in my life that if I ask you a question, even if you know I'm not going to like the answer, you tell me. Like when I was going through that stuff a couple weeks ago about being nervous, like with like a legal thing,
Right.
and you were like, well, they could do this. And I was like, but what? And you were like, can you control it? No. Okay. So what's the problem? And to me, it was a mountain that was made out of a molehill. But to you, it was still just the molehill because nothing's happening. And then I tell you today, hey, that thing we were talking about, yeah,
a
it turned out
molehill.
to be nothing. Oh, see, then you got nothing to worry about. Moving on. Like, but see, like that's what I appreciate about you though. Like, I don't think that you'd be you if you were a person that would like kind of like skirt around things. Or that's why I appreciate having you. But then like I have David, who kind of does get a little wishy-washy sometimes. But I appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that there's different types of people. Like Jahida, obviously, she was upset that she didn't do the basket and everything this year. But I mean, at the same time, this is just an opportunity to make new Easter traditions. You know what I mean? Like, just because one tradition dies doesn't mean we can't have new ones.
I like it.
Like, for the longest time, I don't do it anymore, but for about 4 years, Easter morning, I was golfing with about 20 people.
On
Like,
Easter?
On Easter Sunday.
That's a cold day.
Bro, it was at Hemlock for 4 years. The dude knew us. We knew we were coming. He let us bring our liquor. I would bring Maker's Mark whiskey, 3 of them bitches.
Sounds like a good time.
We would crush all 3 bottles before we left.
That's wild.
Clemens, I don't think made it to Easter.
Made it out. He left. Oh, the Easter dinner?
Mixer got into an argument with one of his family members and said that I ruined Easter. I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit. You drank that whiskey.
You know who ruins Easter? Parents who tell their kids about.
Pontius Pilate ruined Easter.
Not familiar.
Pontius Pilate is the man that ordered Jesus to be executed.
Oh, see. I don't know. Well, we wouldn't have Easter without him.
Did you ever see The Passion of the Christ?
Man, yeah, I watched. I don't know if I watched the entire thing.
Bro, that was a snuff film.
Yeah, I don't know that I watched the entire thing, but
that movie was fucking. You know, there's a sequel coming out. I'm dead ass serious. It's about where Jesus is in hell because he went to hell before he went to heaven, and it's all about him being in hell. Like,
that'd be cool.
How much more do I need to see?
I want to see the trailer.
Man?
I want to see the trailer of that shit.
But how many more times do I need to see this man getting his ass beat on film? Like, there's so many
until
films.
You devote your entire life to Christ, Tom.
There's never one there. I don't think there's one uplifting film about Jesus.
I don't know.
Like
Maybe.
where he resurrected someone and hung out with the whores. Like he did that too, man. He didn't just get his ass beat and then get crucified. Like there was a lot of other shit the dude did. Like
that's why you're gonna keep seeing it.
Hell yeah.
That's why you're gonna keep seeing it. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. I'm. If I have any more kids, I'm not telling them about the Easter Bunny being fake.
It's all right, Uncle Tom will.
No, about them being fake. I'm gonna let them believe it.
Good.
I'm gonna let them believe it.
Good.
But I'm ruining it for your kids. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Cut. Let us know in the comments below if your kids believe in the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus or any of those, those fairy tale
Krampus
beings that bring gifts on holidays. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Tom, we got one more segment here, buddy, and then we're gonna be out of this one. And let's see. Oh, what's it? Here, I gotta go back. We're talking about the wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
Rasheed Rice.
Boy.
All right, so Tom, why don't you kind of start?
I
this
really
one?
love. Can I just say the past 2 episodes we have bookended our show talking about the NFL, and I love it. First of all,
I know I do it for you.
I know you do, and I love it. I do the politics for you, so
I know.
it's like, we're getting to that ground. Hey, NFL draft's coming up. We'll talk about that.
I'm sure there'll
in
be a
couple
lot to
weeks.
talk.
Anyway,
talk about.
so Rasheed Rice, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, AFC West. So the AFC West is comprised of the Las Vegas Raiders, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, so Rasheed Rice, wide receiver 1 for Patrick Mahomes, arguably at this point because you can't count Travis Kelce. He's a tight end. But he got into a car accident on going high speed.
Allegedly,
he got into a car accident going high speed in his Corvette. Or it was a Lamborghini. I don't remember which one. Anyway, this is reminiscent of 2 years ago when Henry Ruggs III, a wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, got into an accident in his Corvette and killed someone. Now, Rasheed Rice didn't kill anyone, but it begs the question, what is going on in the AFC West with wide receivers and fast cars?
I think we'll get there. I think we should kind of really cover what this whole situation is about to begin.
I was just preluding, baby. I was just preluding, sucking them in.
Okay,
so
well,
stay.
All right. Let's talk about Rasheed Rice and his situation and what's going on here. So, according to News Nation, police. This is 3 days ago,
Yep.
right here.
Around when it happened.
Right, I think this is exactly right after it happened. Police are looking for Chiefs Rasheed Rice after major crash in Dallas, reports. Let's see. Kansas City police are looking for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rasheed Rice after a major car accident Saturday night in Northeast Dallas, according to multiple reports. A vehicle believed to be registered at least to Rice crashed on North Central Expressway at about 6:20 p.m. Saturday. The Dallas. Let me see if I can zoom in it because I know you guys can't see that. Blah, 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 blah. Where was I at? Expressway at 20 Saturday. The Dallas Morning News and TMZ reported, citing law enforcement. ABC News Dallas affiliate WFAA posted dash cam video of the purported incident. I don't know if this is the same video I have pulled
Yeah, I
up,
think that's the same video.
but let's
see.
Let's look at it. Is this the video?
That's the same website.
Is this the same? It is the
Swear
same
to Christ.
website. Good, because I've already got it queued up over here. Let's watch the video. Dashcam footage shows, and we got to wait for this ad real fast. So while we're waiting for the ad, I just want to switch back over here real quick. So it looks like he was, according to Dallas Morning News, police said that the preliminary investigation determined the driver in a Chevy Corvette and a driver in a Lamborghini, so both were driving. So you weren't wrong either way. Were speeding in the far left lane when both lost control of their vehicles. This reportedly caused the Corvette and Lamborghini to crash, resulting in 4 other vehicles to crash, dealing minor injuries to the people inside the other four cars. Those inside the Corvette and Lamborghini all ran from the crash without stopping to see if anyone needed medical help or providing any of their information, according to a Dallas police spokesperson. Police are still trying to identify the suspects. Let's see if we can watch this video. Oh, it's still doing the ad thing.
There we go.
All right, here we go. So this is... Why don't we have any volume? Oh, here we go.
2 sports cars.
All right,
pass,
let's start this
lose
back over.
control.
Oop.
The man who shared this dash camera video with WFAA says he was driving about 70 miles per hour. 2 sports cars pass, lose control, and slide into 4 other cars on Central Expressway. Sources tell WFAA police believe the Lamborghini and Corvette drivers were racing. As the smoke clears and traffic stops, 3 people get out of the Lamborghini SUV and walk away.
For Channel 2, if you can check the service road on Mockingbird, you have 2 subjects that fled from the scene.
Investigators now want to talk with Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rasheed Rice. Sources tell WFAA the crashed Corvette is registered to Rice, though it's not yet clear whether he was in the wreck.
He's the greatest quarterback in the NFL.
Rice, who won a Super Bowl last month, played college football at SMU and grew up in North Richland Hills. Authorities shut down Central Expressway for more than 6 hours Saturday. Medics treated 2 people there and took 2 others to the hospital with minor injuries, they said, though attorney Mark Linehan says his client is still hospitalized.
2 vehicles going way too fast on a highway at 6:30 at night, filled with families and everybody else just trying to get home and get to meals and be with loved ones, doing their daily business. These people thought they were too cool for all that.
The NFL and the Chiefs have not responded to WFAA's request for comment. The SMU athletic department says it is still gathering information about the wreck. In Dallas, I'm Matt Houston.
What the fuck does SMU care?
All right, so I didn't know it was a Corvette and a Lamborghini, and so 3 people get out. Did any of those look like Rice? But then again, you see the back of their heads. Do what?
I can't comment on that.
Can't comment on that.
It's not going to come out right when I say it.
Just don't say it, Tom. Just don't say it.
They all had dreadlocks and they were all of African American descent. I couldn't tell. Like,
you're racist.
I'm not trying to be
You're
an
racist.
asshole here.
You're racist, Tom.
No, I'm not.
All right, so it said that they were all the 2 people fled.
Yep.
The Corvette was registered to Rice.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever seen a Lamborghini truck, but them things are nice.
They're fucking sick.
Fuck. Yeah, they're nice. But so it's very devastating that those either crashed. Good thing that there were only minor injuries.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a too serious of an accident.
Yeah, this isn't like the Henry Ruggs situation.
So that's saying that. If we look back at the News Nation report, this says a major crash. That didn't seem like a major crash to me.
Well, I mean,
Do
it
you
was
think this is hyped? Do you think this is overhyped?
Not at all.
So you think that was a major crash?
Yeah, I mean, like, multiple people were injured. Like, a minor crash is like if you and I were going down the road and you tapped me, and I have a little dent on the side of my truck. I think a major crash is anything that quantifies big damage. And let's not...
Big damage monetarily or big damage...
Either way. Either way.
No, because, I mean, you're talking about a Lamborghini truck here. I mean, you probably breathe on it wrong, and you're probably looking at a couple $1,000s worth of repairs.
Correct. But I know Corvettes. I've sold many. If you fuck up a Corvette, up,
yeah,
we are talking money.
That's what I'm saying. So monetarily,
so that's a major crash.
So I don't know how you quantify or actually I don't know how you qualify a major crash.
I think anytime anyone gets hurt or anytime the damage exceeds $10,000.
Okay, and even right here it says resulting in 4 other vehicles to crash, dealing minor injuries to the people inside. So a major crash causes minor injuries.
But minor injuries now. I had a buddy in college that got into a car accident and he like hit his head or whatever and he was like, "Oh, I'm fine, whatever." And then like 2 months later he got out of bed and he couldn't even bend his head. Like he couldn't move his head. Like it was like, I mean, he didn't do anything else. I mean, he got fucked up.
Right.
But I mean, I think the media is hyping it up because it's another wide receiver in the NFL that got into a car accident, just like Henry Ruggs. But do I think it's as bad as that? No. Because the Henry Ruggs incident, those cops were on him 10 minutes later trying to find him. He killed someone, though.
Right.
I mean, that man...
That's a major crash.
That man killed a motherfucker. Like, and how apropos that the Kansas City Star is reporting when that is their player.
Yeah, and that's not even loading too well.
Yahoo Sports. Right there. They're a good source.
Is this a video?
No.
This doesn't look like the video that we're looking for. All right, I don't know that we're actually looking for a video, but apparently Rasheed Rice did offer an apology. Rasheed Rice apologizes for my part in crash while injured couple reportedly lawyer up. Oh, shit.
Hey,
you know what? I can't even blame them.
No, he's
I cannot even blame them.
He is the wide receiver 1 for the Super Bowl champions.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, I mean...
$2 million, make it go away.
I think it might be more than that.
Probably could.
I guess it would... let's see what this says. Let's read this and see what this says. This is from Yahoo Sports, Jack Bear. This is from today, actually. This is today. There's plenty to be sorted out in the crash allegedly caused by Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rasheed Rice's car, and it appears at least 2 people involved don't want him to get off lightly. Get out of here. A Dallas couple, wait a minute, is that where was that?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. A Dallas couple injured in a hit-and-run collision Saturday, allegedly involving Rice, has hired an attorney and is considering their legal options, according to the Dallas Morning News. The pair were reportedly traveling to a friend's 50th birthday party when 2 vehicles, one allegedly containing Rice, slammed into their white Lexus SUV. The couple's car reportedly spun across the highway until it hit a wall. You can see the incident on the video. We already watched that. The 2 were reportedly taken to a hospital and are now recovering at home. The woman reportedly sustained a significant laceration above her left eye that required multiple stitches in her eyelid, plus a swollen and bruised right leg, while both have post-concussion symptoms. The angry situation walker in an interview, from our perspective, their perspective, it doesn't really matter who the people are, just the human decency and element of just. Is this from this? I don't think this. I don't know. Other victims in the crash reportedly include a 27-year-old and her 4-year-old son. Ooh, 4-year-old.
Whose Hyundai accent was left undrivable.
That is a major accident.
I would say it's a major accident at that point. Yeah.
And a separate victim in an Uber that got T-boned. Rice released a statement Monday. So this is from Rice. Released a statement Monday confirming he was involved in the crash.
He's cooperating with the authorities, and will
So
take all the necessary
he's saying
steps.
he was there. Okay. I wasn't sure if they had actually.
Because a lot of people were saying you don't know if that's Rasheed Rice.
Right.
Just because it's
But he's
registered to him doesn't mean it's his.
So he's saying he is there and he's cooperating. Why'd you run, bro? All right. He released an additional statement on Wednesday apologizing for his part in the crash without describing what his part actually was. Today I met with Dallas PD investigators regarding Saturday's accident, Rice said on Instagram. I take full responsibility for my part in this matter and will continue to cooperate with the necessary authorities. I sincerely apologize to everyone impacted in Saturday's accident. A significant question about the crash is whether or not Rice was driving the black Lamborghini involved. Wait a minute. I thought the Corvette was his. Per
Both of those
TMZ,
cars are his.
he owns a black Corvette from the crash, but leased the Lamborghini from a company called Classic Lifestyle for the price of $1,750 per day. Wow.
What the fuck?
That's wild.
How long? Hold up. So $1,750 a day
Yes.
times 7 days a week times 52. I hope he only bought that, leased that for a fucking year, because that's $637,000.
No. This is probably like a. Are you familiar with Turo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like a Turo where you lease it off of a person.
See, that's how you know
Almost
you
like a rental
actually
car.
haven't made it in the NFL. Because
You're renting cars.
you're renting a fucking car.
Bullshit. He's made
Patrick
it, bro.
Mahomes owns 2 of those probably. You know what I'm saying?
If he's able to afford $1,700 a day, man, you made it, bro. Sure, what did I say? All right, Kyle Coker, an attorney representing Classic Lifestyle, reportedly told TMZ that Rice was the only person permitted to drive the Lamborghini, and the new receiver. Ooh, so let him not be the driver. And the new receiver had texted a promise to pay for the totaled car after the wreck.
Yeah. Like.
And the receiver. Okay.
You know, it's interesting that you can see that because the is one of the words that if it's repeated next to each other, the brain cancels out the other one.
I honestly didn't even notice it until I went back and looked at it. The people in both cars that caused the wreck were allegedly caught on video fleeing on foot. Both the Chiefs and the NFL have confirmed they are aware of the situation, while police are still investigating and have not officially identified any suspects. Do you think he's going to get suspended?
Yeah. 4
For
games.
how long?
4 games.
4 games?
4 game suspension. They're probably going to drug test him. He's probably going to have some weed in his system. Weed's legal in the NFL now, but
Is it?
Yeah. Weed got legal last year. Not this past season, but the season before.
That's cool to know, I guess.
Yeah, because Josh Gordon literally is like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
The guy from the Browns, he's like, "What the fuck, man?" But yeah, he'll be suspended. They'll put him into a substance abuse program just to kind of appease people.
Why do you think they'll find weed in the system?
Why?
Yeah. Is it because he's black? You goddamn.
No,
Tom,
because he's
what the
Rasheed Rice.
Fuck, dude.
Do you know who his
You're
friends
on one
are?
today, bro.
Do you know who his friends are?
No, not all like that.
Lil Baby. I mean, that's one of his friends. Like, he's definitely blowing down if he's with Lil Baby.
I don't know. I don't drink, but I got a lot of friends who do.
Yeah, but you're also not like a 23-year-old millionaire who consequences don't matter.
No, consequences absolutely matter.
Well, he's finally seeing it, but before that, consequences never mattered to him.
Like John Morant.
Like, fuck John Morant. I can't stand John Morant. I know your Grandma Rose loves John Morant, but fuck Grandma Rose, fuck Joe Morant. And I'll say it to your face, Graham. I don't like him. She might roundhouse kick me.
That might be your last day on earth, bro.
But I can take a kick from an old lady.
Either way, so, I mean, I don't know, man. I think
He's punished. I mean, he needs punished. It's the offseason, I understand it, but he's still a representative of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. And I think, obviously he was being really reckless if that was him driving. But I'm curious if he wasn't driving.
How do you prove it?
How do you prove what?
That he wasn't driving.
I think, he would have to prove he wasn't driving.
There's probably only one way that he could do it. Only one way. If you have a Corvette that's upfitted with certain things.
But they don't think he was driving the Corvette. I'm saying a Lamborghini because he was the only person authorized to drive the Lamborghini.
Yeah, but do you think he really gives a shit?
No, I don't. But that's why I was saying, how do you prove that he was driving or wasn't driving, right? So in his situation, now he has to be extra cautious because if he was driving, he has to take responsibility for the accident. If he wasn't driving,
That's a breach of legal contract.
that's a breach of contract. And you're talking, yeah. So I think he's fucked either way.
Either way, he's fucked. And it's
But which way? But now you have to assess which route is going to deal less
Lamborghini.
punishment.
The Lamborghini easily.
You're saying where if he wasn't driving,
Yeah.
and he just breached the contract.
Correct. Because here's why. So medical damages.
Start over, baby. You all off the camera.
So
No Diddy.
medical damages you're going to have to do. You're going to have to come out of, I mean, you're going to have to replace your Corvette.
But that's what you have insurance for.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he's still going to have to, I guarantee he didn't have gap insurance.
Hell yeah, he did.
I guarantee he didn't.
Unless it's paid off.
He definitely probably paid it off. But here's the other thing. So let's not, he's going to have to pay out to those people, right? You could be looking at $2 million easy.
Well, he's already looking at that lawsuit.
Correct. So here's the thing.
Let's see if I can find any information about that.
He was a mid-round pick. He wasn't a first-round pick. So his salary is $983,000. I read. Where's he going to get that money? His lawsuit at that point takes more than he's made in his NFL career. Even if with incentive-based bonuses, he didn't make no $2 million this year. There ain't no way.
What did he get paid? Do you know what his salary was?
$983,000.
You already looked it up?
I'm positive.
Or you're just a fucking... You're just
no.
A stat file like that?
Oh, I am, but... Oh, so he got $1 million signing bonus. Yeah.
He blew it on weed, according to you, Tom.
Yeah, he got $1 million signing bonus. Okay. So yeah, he's gonna be all right.
Maybe. We'll see what happens with these lawyers and these from the people in the other car. Well, see, that's all right. So if he's not driving, then he's not responsible for that aspect of it, right?
Correct. Well, then it could be argued that he might have been driving the Lambo.
But if he wasn't driving,
he's real fucked.
Or let's say he was driving, but he doesn't want to take responsibility for driving. How do you prove you weren't driving?
Hopefully you had your Instagram or your TikTok or something going.
Or one of your buddies in the car. Will one of your buddies take the fall for that?
I don't know, man. They did it for Carmelo Anthony back in the day.
Man, that's a tough question to ask of your friends.
Well, do you remember back in like 2004, Carmelo Anthony, when he played for the Nuggets, he was going on a plane and there was a backpack and it had weed in it and he got in trouble and his buddy came for, oh no, that was mine. That was mine.
Yeah, but that's a weed charge versus causing a major accident on the highway.
Correct. But what I'm saying is like, it's not unheard of for your friends to come forward and do that for you because you know you're set for life. You know, dude, I'm telling you, if I had a pro athlete friend, short of them a murder charge, like if it was like...
You're taking the fall for him?
Oh, I'm taking the fall all day.
Bro, not if you have a family.
If I have a family, if I'm not going to jail for it...
Unless your family's getting taken care of.
Oh, dude, if I had a...
When you got money, you can just fucking make shit happen.
I'd be like, I'll take whatever fall you need. Not a murder charge. Not any physical damage, nothing like that. But like if it's weed or drug related or something like that, I will take that fall all day for you. I just need to know that my family is taken care of.
Well, if I ever get in trouble, Tom, I hit you up.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I just need Gianni to come over and watch Wyatt at that point. You can pay me back there. But it's just interesting because like we're seeing a lot of these receivers, these young guys who are fast as fuck on the field.
So you wanted to get into that, and you said it has something to do with the AFC West.
Yeah, because the Las Vegas Raiders had this happen 2 years ago. Now Rashee Rice.
Do you think it's do you think there's a reason it's isolated to the AFC West? Like, are you claiming some kind of correlation?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think that is?
The AFC West is filled with teams that believe they are better than they actually are, with the exception of the Chiefs. The Las Vegas Raiders have that stigma, like, we're the best. we're badasses. We're black and silver. Like we're fucking fast. We're mean. And those kids buy into it. And that's what Henry Ruggs did. He bought into it. He was invincible. You know what I mean?
You think it's like the fame? It's
Henry
like
Ruggs
all
also
of the
went to
lights.
Alabama. So I know you don't watch a lot of football, but you know Alabama football is pretty much a pro football team. Like, that kid was a god there.
Right.
He could do no wrong. He got to the NFL, still no consequences, then that happens, and I mean, fucked
But
up.
what do you think the AFC West has to do with that?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Rasheed Rice played at SMU, which is another SEC school, who is a good SEC school, just like Alabama. A god. He gets drafted to the Chiefs with the greatest quarterback in the league. Taylor Swift's at every game. Like, the Chiefs have unprecedented media attention. He's the wide receiver 1. So even though he's not that great, he's getting all the media attention, right?
Okay.
They're thrusting these kids in too quick and making them bigger than they actually are. And it gets to their head from college at Alabama to the teams that they go to. They're bigger than they actually are. And there's no consequences for them. They're just going to do whatever until life hits them in the fucking mouth. Like, that's what happened in these instances. You don't have this happening.
So you're saying it's because like the media attention that these teams get,
the
because
Chiefs
it's
and
more
then
of
the
like
Raiders.
it's more of like a show, like a soap opera,
Yeah. Like,
almost
you don't
like
ever
a
hear about
lifestyle instead of a career.
Correct. The only thing you ever have heard come out of the Patriots organization is when Aaron Hernandez did his shit, right? Aaron Hernandez killed the guys.
Right.
He went to prison. Before that, nothing. After that, nothing, right? The Cleveland Browns. They got Deshaun Watson, right?
He
His
came into the
alleged-
Browns with that.
His alleged incident. Before that, really nothing. After that, really nothing.
I don't know. You had Manziel with the weed thing. You had,
But that was before he came into the league. He was Johnny Football in college.
okay. Where did
SEC.
where did Watson come from?
Texas.
That's not
Or
AFC
Houston.
West.
Houston. AFC South.
Right.
South.
But he Watson came to the Browns with those issues.
With those issues. He did. But what I'm getting at is like, it seems to stop when it's at certain places. It doesn't seem to stop in the AFC
So
West.
you think those teams in the AFC West kind of breed a culture of this is a lifestyle?
Well, yeah, I mean, you
not
got the
so much a
greatest team in the
career.
league, and then you have California teams. You know what I mean? Like, and Denver, where you can just smoke weed at the stadium. You know what I mean? Like, Denver's not really the greatest example because Denver's kind of a shithole franchise. They just cut Russell Wilson, and they owe him $38 million to not play for them this year. Like, that's crazy. But like, the Raiders is, I mean, think about it. When you think of football and you think of teams, sometimes you'll think of the Raiders, right? The Raiders haven't been good in like 30 years. Or no, 22 years. They won a Super Bowl in 2002, I think it was. They played the Buccaneers that year.
That's when they had Charles Woodson, right?
Charles Woodson and Rich Gannon and I think it was Tim Brown.
It was a good team.
That was a very good team. I mean, the celebrity Ice Cube loves fucking
Us goes back to Oakland.
yeah, it goes back to Oakland. Snoop Dogg kind of likes him. He's more of a Steelers fan, but I mean, those dudes love them. And the Chiefs, they are the greatest team in the NFL right now, bar none, and they get all the attention. So I think when the attention's on you, you're gonna do dumb shit, because hey, this doesn't really matter anymore.
So you're basically saying it comes down to the culture.
It comes down to the culture, big time,
of the team.
And
but
like the Steelers, you never hear anyone on the Steelers getting in trouble after Ben Roethlisberger. That's 21 years that there have been no problems.
I don't know that that's true.
It is true.
I would have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure there are some. I'm almost positive I remember hearing some reports of some players getting into some shit. Now, obviously, this is over a lot of different players over the years, so I'd have to go back and really think or go back and look.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there are some players who have
The
been in
Arizona
some
Cardinals
shit.
have never had any problems.
No.
No, it's just where players go to die.
Yeah, unfortunately, because
Emmitt Smith, J.J. Watt.
yeah, but I mean they have a pretty positive, like, I know when Fitzgerald played, like, Fitzgerald didn't take no shit.
No, and Fitzgerald was an altar boy, man. Like there was never a problem with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he kind of like helped breed that kind of culture within the team.
You need
So-
guys like that.
Yeah. So I think you have a valid point as far as like the media and the attention that the teams get and how it's more of a lifestyle and a culture, more of kind of like a fame and like all of the lights and media attention, and it's it's more of a social status thing than it is an actual career for some people in some teams.
Yeah.
I think you have a point there.
I think it's a very valid point. It permeates, man. It doesn't go away. Like, like how like in WWE the camera goes off but they keep being them. You know what I'm saying? Like that kayfabe or whatever. Like,
I'm not familiar with kayfabe. Is that something new?
no, it's a term that I was reading about where like wrestlers don't break kayfabe. They are always the wrestler
In character, basically.
in character. Yeah.
And you're saying that happens in the NFL or in sports in general?
I think that happens in the NFL. I don't think it's sports in general. I think it's the NFL.
Okay.
They make
I think basketball too.
much money.
I would say basketball.
I can't even comment on basketball, dude. I'm so tired of the LeBron James dick riding that there are other people that play basketball, dude. There are other people that play basketball.
I think you just maybe it bothers you so much, and that's why you see it so much. Because honestly, I don't stop hearing about Kyrie or Luka or
You hear about Kyrie because he actually thinks for himself and is a free thinker.
No, I'm just saying like his games. I'm not saying anything about his like conference, like his media appearances or anything like that. I'm saying his actual game, like his actual game play. Like him and Luka just went off the other day together, and they put on a tear.
Jokic, you hear about Wembanyama, you hear about, but like it's always like, oh yeah, the
Jason Tatum.
Lakers lost by 47 points, but LeBron had 60 points and 10 rebounds, and he hasn't done something. No one's ever done that since Bonesaw McGraw back in 1955 for the Toronto Huskies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they just make up some weird
they just
stats.
make shit up. No
But, I
one's
mean,
ever
he's a
been
GOAT.
43 years old chewing gum.
Listen, when you're the GOAT and you've broken all the records, you got to start setting records that nobody's even heard of.
He's not the GOAT. I'm sick of it.
You're wild.
I'm sick of it.
You're
He's not
wild.
the GOAT.
Kicking you off the podcast, Tom. Just for that.
But
right
Michael
there.
Jordan isn't the GOAT either. That's another time.
Yeah.
But I think that we've done all we can do tonight, and I'm not going to apologize for us coming on here and doing it. I'm not going to pull a Rasheed Rice and apologize.
No apologies.
I stand by what I did. I stand by this. I stand by this car wreck.
You take accountability for your part?
I take accountability for my part.
Good, you should.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in with us. It was a great episode of The Cut. Hopefully you can go back and watch all the different segments in this. We will be breaking them up. Again, you have all been cut. Tune into us next week. And
Not been cut. You have made
you have
the.
all made the
We don't want to cut you.
No.
Don't take that as a threat. We don't need any lawsuits.
But we will see you next week.
Peace.